out yesterday.
Oh.
So
Good evening, eighth grade families, class of 2024 students and parents. My name is Dr. Golding for people who have not met me before, and I'm joined tonight by Dr. Reynolds. We're going to share some of the information with you this evening, and I am sure that you have a lot of questions. Mrs. Amaral is back there in the back. She's monitoring our chat on YouTube. So if you want to post a comment in a question form, either she can answer it via the chat or she will direct it to one of us to answer it. And you can put them periodically in the chat as we go through the presentation, but we will address those questions towards the end when we kind of open it up for everyone. Tonight, the purpose of tonight's meeting is to really talk about the year-end events, because there are several of them, and sort of our expectations and some logistics moving forward. At any point in time in the next, well, I think we're down to like 20 something days. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself, Dr. Reynolds, Mr. Duget, Mrs. Amaral, or Ms. Simone, and we can kind of guide you to the correct answer or find the support. I also want to start off by saying that some of these events require specific clothing or some other things. If there is a financial concern or a barrier that you feel that would prevent your child from being able to participate in anything, please reach out to one of us. We have a lot of resources that are at our disposal to assist families and students. And we don't know, if we don't know, we can't help. And no barrier, financial or any transportation or anything, should be a reason why a student can't participate in these fun activities. So please feel free. We're here to help. And we want to make sure that everybody has a wonderful year-end experience. We're going to start first and foremost with, we have a Google Classroom for eighth graders. Parents, I know that you don't have access to this, but they can open up their Chromebook and log in and show you. This is where all the information is kind of stored. Students got actually a form from me today to request songs for the DJ for our upcoming SemiFormal that Dr. Reynolds is going to talk about in a second. Unbeknownst to me, the district shut down Google Forms for students temporarily. They said they'll be back tomorrow. So I'm sure you have tons of requests that you want to share with the DJ. That form should be working tomorrow. Some of you were very on top of it. I was actually in a meeting today, and as soon as I sent it out, I probably had 5 or 6 emails very quickly to alert me that the form was not working. So we will remedy that, and hopefully by tomorrow, everybody can put in their requests. But also on there has always been this year, like field trip information. This slides presentation will be there, as well as other things for the next 20 days that students and families would need to access. I'm going to turn it over now to Dr. Reynolds to talk about the upcoming SemiFormal.
thank you, Dr. Golding. Happy to be here tonight. A little bit of a temporary setup right here. My daughter runs track, and actually at a track meet was rescheduled for this evening. So you see me in a car right now. Very excited as we count down. I know we're looking forward to celebrating the end of the year. We are under 20 days at this point of school days left. So that's really exciting. Lots to pack in the next 20, little less than 20 days now. First, it is the first time in a while West Rocks has had a semi-formal dance, and this is sponsored by the PTA. We have had growing interest over the last few days, especially some questions. Our permission slips are trickling in. But just to clarify exactly what that night's going to be, students can purchase tickets at lunch, and we've been flexible throughout the day. In the main office, Miss Martinez, who sits on the back right, is collecting our permission slips and our $10 and entering names of students that have that into our spreadsheet. We are not selling tickets at the door, so all tickets must be purchased by at the end of lunch on Friday. We The dance starts at 6:30. From 6:30 to 7, students will be provided a meal in the cafeteria, and then after 7 o'clock, right around 7 o'clock, students will walk into the gymnasium, which will be decorated for the dance portion. A couple things around that. This is supposed to simulate kind of like a prom, a semi-formal, get a meal, dancing, a lot of fun. Couple things to it. Just like a prom, we do want to make sure all students are safe and making good choices. Sometimes near the end of the year, we have a tendency to either make bad choices or we aren't really sure. We do want to make sure that everyone there is safe and following all protocols. And with that, we will be checking bags. Any bags that they have on person, like a purse or a small bag, we will be checking, just like a junior or senior prom at a high school when they come in. um, the student would present the bag to myself, administration, and security, check, make sure that everything is fine. They give it back to the student, and they're able to carry it through. Again, they shouldn't be any jackets. We can check, but again, that's really a safety protocol, just like any other formal, semi-formal dance at a high school or a middle school. So just I want to make sure that was clear. Same expectations apply around what we are bringing to a dance, just like any other school function. All of that applies. This particular semi-formal, we are allowing cell phones. I know that's different from the previous regular dances during the year, as well as our school policy. That was something that we had talked about as a team. The PTA brought to us. A lot of students advocated. This is a celebration. Students did want to be able to take pictures of themselves, record themselves, kind of dancing, kind of a rah-rah celebration at the end of the year. So cell phones will be allowed. The last part that I'm going to say, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Golding to fill in some of the other details. We do need a permission slip because that really goes through all of our expectations, and then the parent or guardian agrees that the student would also adhere to that. Otherwise, we're going to ask that parent to come and pick up the child from the dance, and they would be obviously it'd be just like any other school function. We would take the appropriate next steps as necessary. That's one. Two, on the bottom of the permission slip, it does allow for students to bring a date from another Norwalk Middle School in 8th grade if they are in good standing. I've had a few questions over the last day or so on that just to get some clarification. So, for example, if I have a friend who I think would have a great time with me and my friends at the West Rock Semi-Formal, and he or she goes to Nathan Hale, I would make sure I get that blue permission slip. I give it to my friend, who's then going to go to their principal or assistant principal, Miss Murillo or Mr. Crouch, principal, assistant principal at Nathan Hale. They are going to, because they are in good standing, have to review, have to talk about some expectations, and they will say, yes, this student is in good standing. They will sign that permission slip. That permission slip then comes back to me because I'm a student at West Rocks. And then I need to bring that permission signed by my parent and by the administrator at Nathan Hale or the other school for that 8th grader who I want to bring, and bring $20, one for the 10 ticket for me and one for the $10 for my friend, and buy 2 tickets with Miss Martinez in the office and or at lunch, and then both can come. As the next step, Miss Amaral, Mr. Duget, or myself, we will reach out to Nathan Hale just to confirm and talk. We want to ensure, again, that we have all students who are eligible to participate. This is a really special event, and we want to make sure that we provide a wonderful experience for our West Rocks 8th graders as they close out the year. I'm sure there'll be some questions on that from students over the next few days, which is fine, and we'll walk through each and every one based on their circumstances. With that, Dr. Golding, any other details? I know some pictures, some booths. I think there's some really good stuff.
I just also want to clarify that the $10 includes a full dinner. So the PTA is opening the doors at 6:30 to check in students, and from 6:30 to 7 is really a sit down dinner. The PTA is looking for help with food and especially food and volunteers. The students in student council that represent the entire 8th grade met and really felt strongly about what they would like served. So there's some very specific items that the PTA is looking for. When you get this presentation tonight, I'll send it out via email. You can click right there on that link and it takes you right to their sign up page. Again, we need food. If we have 150 students, we need food for 150 people. So every little bit helps. We will have a photo booth. Students will have the opportunity to do that. And again, this is one of those events where students I know are anxious or maybe nervous about not having maybe the correct items to wear. And if that were the case, they should see myself or Mrs. Amaral. We actually have a lot of items that were donated and different things with tags on them. And we also have, like I said, a lot of agencies that are willing to support students. So please reach out if your child needs something to wear for the dance or even promotion later on. Again, I know there's a lot of questions about the dance, but we can get to some of those. Those are probably more from students than parents, so we can handle those in school.
So yearbooks are a big deal, especially in 8th grade. Just like as our students are closing a chapter, really middle school is a chapter in their educational career and lives. So yearbooks is a way to capture that, right? Signatures, pictures. We have a new yearbook advisor this year, Dr. Fox, and she's done an incredible job. I saw a sneak peek of the proof. She is really it's an amazing. A collection of a lot of memories, and our kids and our 8th graders especially will enjoy it. She even got a shout out from the publication company in general as the work for this yearbook. So big stuff, and you'll really enjoy it. The 8th graders will get the first copies. They get it before everybody else in the school on Thursday, June 6th, in the afternoon, after lunch. And then this is after really all of our lunches finish. We will have a process that we'll communicate how that's going to work. And I'm going to work with Dr. Fox and some of our other 8th grade teachers on students who pre-ordered, any of those that are still available. I've been sending links to pre-order and order yearbooks in each of my weekend Saturday posts. So if you've been able to do that, great. I know there's limited supplies, so if you want to get in there, that you can. Dr. Fox will then communicate out prior to this date for the whole school, but 8th grade specifically, around what that looks like, and we'll kind of talk through. Students will come down, we'll get the yearbooks. We'll also have some other things for students who didn't get a yearbook to sign, to autographs, pads, things like that, just to make sure we make that the event special. And then they come down, they have some extra recess, and we have an ice cream truck. So the PTA has generously supported an ice cream truck. So each 8th grader will get an ice cream. They'll be outside for recess. They'll be able to sign autographs for the last hour of the day. So it's just another way to provide time for these guys to get together, to kind of reminisce, say their goodbyes, remember, as we celebrate the end of their middle school experience. Dr. Golding, anything else for that?
One of our newer traditions, coming actually out of COVID, a positive thing out of COVID, is our pre-promotion party. And that takes place at the school. And that's Thursday evening, the 6th, from 5 to 7:30 p.m. And that is just for 8th grade students that go to West Rocks. That's an event where we don't have guests, we don't have siblings. Parents, you're welcome to come as a volunteer, but for safety concerns, we really just need to limit it to the class of 2024. That evening, full dinner and dessert is provided. You're going to get a link from me probably in a week or so. That's going to be one giant link for the things that we need donations from. And I'll explain a little more at the end because we have a breakfast and other things, but it will include, similar to the link from the PTA, items for donations and opportunities to get involved. I know, and I see it now with my own child. They say they don't want you there. They tell you don't come, but they're very excited when they see you. And it does mean a lot to them when you're sharing in the celebration with them. So ignore them saying, don't come. I don't want you to come. I want you to come and help out and be a part of it because it's a lot of fun. But there's going to be music, dancing. We usually have another photo booth. We're going to have an inflatable like the one pictured below, some raffle prizes. Everyone gets a favor. They get to leave for the evening with something. And we're also looking for some donations of raffle prizes. I think last year we gave away close to 25 different gift cards and different things. So every student that comes gets like an arm's length of raffle tickets, and they put them in the bins. And then we actually pulled them at promotion practice the following day. And kids were really, really excited and cheering for each other. And that on the bottom corner is an example of one of the photos that came from the photo booth. It's actually a digital one, and the kids get it right to their cell phone. So a lot of fun that evening. We also ask that at the dance, at the pre-promotion party, please be respectful of the end times. A lot of us are supervising their teachers and stuff, and we can't leave until every student is picked up. So if there is a transportation issue, we can arrange carpooling. We have a lot of, again, resources at our disposal. So please talk to us if your child needs help with transportation.
We also, just to second that, we do need as many adults as possible. So like just the inflatable alone, we spread a couple people out just for supervision. And because we spread, there's an activity over here, there's an activity over there, there's a raffle, who's collecting tickets, as we're transitioning and preparing for the evening to end, who's going to help organize the goodies to go. So all of those things are really important. So just don't feel like, oh, what are they going to have for me to do? There's always plenty to do when we have 220 students all looking to have a great time.
And you could tell your kids that they won't even have to see you. You can be serving dinner and they can be outside. So yes, please, please, please help out. And last year the parents, I think, might have had just as much fun as the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
The big day is June 11th this year. It changes every year. This year it happens to be Tuesday, the 11th again, and it is at City Hall in the concert hall. So like if you're driving down East Avenue, concert hall is actually the big part of the front of the building with the several doors in the front that face the road. And that is the entrance we use, one of them. That morning, we have a breakfast, very similar to what the high school does. Students come in, normal time, normal transportation bus, go to homeroom, and then we have a breakfast that is not provided by our cafeteria staff. So that's another thing that we're going to be looking for donations. In years past, it was like bagels, fruit, yogurts, easy things for parents to donate. Last year, we were fortunate enough to get all the bagels donated from a local shop. So a great opportunity if you have a connection somewhere in the community that wants to sponsor or be a part of our year end. We're always welcome to that. And then we will travel, and Dr. Reynolds is going to talk a little bit about what the rest of that day looks like.
Yeah. So the breakfast is a lot of fun. It's a nice way to get started on a day of celebration. We've already turned in, and this will be a separate communication. We've already turned in our Chromebooks. We've already kind of finished our exams. We're looking forward to just celebrating, making sure that we have a great event so families can enjoy the evening as well. So we kick off with some breakfast. We go outside, give us some time to settle in, let the buses arrive. So we right after the breakfast between 9:15, 9:30ish, right in there after the buses, school buses make their elementary runs, they come to West Rocks. We load our 8th graders directly from the cafeteria after our breakfast and some outside recess a little bit. They go right onto the buses with their 8th grade teachers. We've already practiced promotion for the last couple days, so we understand our order. We've gotten an alpha order. We understand how we proceed, where we sit, who's speaking. We've done all of that for a couple days. So when we get on the bus, we then get dropped off from the buses in front of the concert hall, just like Dr. Golding mentioned. And then we practice what the promotion ceremony is when we are actually there. It's important, especially for our 8th graders who don't have a visual. We can practice as many times as we want in the auditorium, but until we're there and we see the seats and we actually go up the stairs and walk across and where the entrances are, all of those things are important. So we're going to go to the City Hall. We will do a whole run through of what the promotion ceremony is, including getting our speakers up in front and talking about giving some of their speech in front of their classmates, and it makes it real. We then kind of practice again. What shoes are we wearing? Which we'll go through in just a second. Can we get up those stairs because they're a little steeper? Our teachers are there too, so we really run through what that promotion practice looks like. We get back on the bus, and then we head back to West Rocks when we finish our regular day before we get ready for the evening.
All right, this is the part that everybody came for. Everyone's here for the next slide. Oh, not yet. Sorry. I forgot. This is really actually important to parents. The class, because we fundraised all year long, we hire a professional photographer that comes, and as students cross the stage and receive their actually empty certificate holder, because it's really hard to keep things in order, they will get their certificate at the end of the ceremony. The photographer snaps a lovely photo of them dressed up next to a sign with our logo. And this is one of our speakers last year from the actual ceremony. It's a lovely event. We actually spend a lot of time with the flowers and the balloons to really make it look like it's our space and represents who we are as a school, even though it's not where we go to school every day. A little piece about the photographer too. It's really hard to get good photos in City Hall from where the parents sit. So this is an opportunity that we try to provide families for really getting and capturing a shot that, is something that lasts a lifetime. So we take a lot of pride in offering that to families. All right, now is what we've all been waiting for. Dr. Reynolds?
All right. So it is June 11th. I think that was a carryover. The top was a carryover.
Last year was the 14th.
So last year, 14th. We obviously we're consistent year to year, right? So June 11th is the date of promotion. That Tuesday, like we talked about, every student is going to get 3 tickets. I did the math. Number of seats in the concert hall. Every student will get 3 tickets. All guests require a ticket. So even if it's a small child, they do require a ticket. The only one exception is if obviously if it's an infant, very small, if you have a stroller, the stroller is not going to be allowed in. We'll go through some of the bullets in just a second, but the major question is how many tickets? It's 3. Can I get any extras? Unfortunately, we're not able to provide any extras regardless of circumstance, extenuating situations. We would encourage, and this is going to be the same kind of broken record you're going to hear throughout over the next period of time until promotion, is we encourage you to work with other families to reach out if you need a 4th or a 5th or a 6th or a 7th, because many times families and students do not use all 3. And so reaching out with your within your network, within your students' network, friends asking, students asking friends or thereabouts, would be the best way to get additional outside of 3. But really, all students will get 3 tickets. So I see a couple questions that are popping up. I'm going to follow up on the live stream. I know the technicians, I'm not sure, Dr. Golding, if you've gotten any additional information on live stream, because it's a really good question.
I haven't, but I will say that last year was the first, we returned to City Hall as our venue last year for the first time for a while, because we had outdoor during the pandemic, and we were able to set up a live stream. It was through our YouTube channel, which separated us a little bit from the other schools. I don't foresee it being a problem again, similar to you guys are watching this broadcast on YouTube. We just haven't ironed out all the kinks yet, but I don't foresee that being an issue. And I know that family from across the country was able to tune in last year and be part of it. So more to come on that, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, we anticipate.
Yeah.
Yep. So just a couple other things. The reason, just the reason for the City Hall is it's air conditioned. That really is it. I know other schools do to other places and they can use your own. We would love to use West Rocks. It just isn't air conditioned and it gets extremely warm if you've been in there. So we look at a venue, and that's really what it is. Capacity allows us to do it. So because the mayor and the superintendent really try to visit all of them, our start time is 7:30. And we'll go through the times when we arrive, what that's going to look like as we approach. But the ceremony will start promptly at 7:30. Last year, the last couple years, we've prided ourselves on actually having the kids start marching in at 7:28, just to make sure we start on time, because it does become a late evening. So with that, just a couple other things, and it's there for you to kind of follow along. The dress and the attire is important. It is a formal event, so we treat it as such. This goes back to Dr. Golding's point right in the beginning, because these are events that are really back to back in a short amount of time. We understand sometimes that becomes a burden for families, where we're purchasing a new outfit for this and then purchasing a new outfit for that, and my child wants a new pair of shoes or this. So if that does become a burden, and you feel like your child may not participate in something because of that, please make sure you reach out to me, Dr. Golding, Miss Amaral, Mr. Duget, and we can make sure that we support you family, and make sure that that your student is able to participate in the way he or she wants. So there are no shorts, no Crocs, no slides. As far as the sneakers, to be honest, we say dress shoes, and I'm going to say dress shoes to the kids. And I just want that in mind. I know our theme for the semi-formal sneaker ball, so I know sneakers are really okay. But they're supposed to be nice, right? It is a formal event, so we'll talk a little bit more about that as a group. The idea is, if it's a nice pair of shoes or a nice pair of sneakers with a nice pair of pants and a polo for males, and a shirt and tie is optional. And a females, skirt, dress with straps, pantsuit, a dress top, something nice. We really don't want high heels. Again, we'll talk more about this as we go with the students as they kind of pick their outfits. But we discourage high heels, really none, because of the steps in the city hall. We will have staff helping and supporting, but we definitely want footwear is important. But again, as we go closer, that's why that day that we practice and rehearse, some students bring the footwear that they're going to have on that night and actually walk across the stage, so they're comfortable with. So again, the day of promotion, 7:30, it will start. We will have our band playing, our orchestra playing. We will have student speakers. It is really going to be student driven. We'll have members of Board of Education Central Office. Every student will have their name called. They'll walk across the stage. They're going to come back to their seats. In the meantime, we will have that photographer in the back, so you don't have to worry about running up and getting a quick picture. That's worked out really well in the past. And then at the end of the night, they get their certificate afterward, and then really just hang around for a little bit to take pictures before we say goodbye. And that's really the end of their middle school experience. So a lot of fun. I know there may be some questions specific to your circumstance. We have some time between now and June 11th to answer those. You can feel free to reach out to me, Dr. Golding, Ms. Amaral, Mr. Duget. Dr. Golding is our 8th grade team leader, so the majority, if not all, communications really specific to 8th grade events will be coming through just like they have been throughout the year. So I just wanted to say big shout out to her for all the work that she's done so far this year and will continue to do, as you will see in multiple posts and communications and leadership and all of the great things that you've experienced so far and will continue as we close out these last 20 days. So just be on the lookout for it. And if obviously any of us will get that information for you, but she will be the lead on all of this that we kind of shared. So I'll turn it over to her to fill in any blanks and close us out.
I do want to reiterate the sneaker thing. I know that some families buy a brand new pair just for the event. We're not saying no to that. The reason for sneakers there is we just want to make it seem like it's different than our everyday. So special sneakers, they match the outfit, go for it. I'm sure you're going to look great. A lot of students in the past have also taken pictures of clothing items or brought things in to ask, like, do you think this is a good idea? I do want to mention that the stairs at City Hall, because of the heels, is a thing. They're very steep, they're wooden, they're older, but it's also the stage is also much higher than the vision line of the audience. Therefore, we do ask that skirts and dresses be very mindful of length. And we can talk more about that with individual students, but be mindful that as you go up the stairs and you're on the stage, the audience is a considerable amount like lower
Below.
than
Yep.
below. Yeah. So just something to think about as you're shopping and doing what you need to do. This will come out, like I said, tonight, the slide deck. There's a hyperlink where it says form. We take one permission slip for sort of all of our year end things and the two major things that we need permission from. And this is separate from the dance. So I just want to clear that up right away. The dance permission slip is its own separate thing. It's blue. There's no online form. It's happening right as we speak. This permission slip, which is digital, and there will be a paper copy probably coming home next week at some point. That's just for the pre-promotion party, which is an after-school event from 5 to 7:30 at the school, and then our actual field trip to City Hall to practice. And that kind of includes the evening ceremony, but at that point, families will be there too. So it's really not a field trip per se or off-school activity, off-campus activity. But we're just gonna have you fill that out. It's just emergency contact information and stuff that we would need to know. Also on there is some medical things, like if your child requires an inhaler, that would be very helpful to know. Our nurse works very closely with us on this stuff, but our pre-promotion party really isn't a trip. So if your child, and we're doing outdoor activities and running around. So if your child has an asthma inhaler and maybe they don't perhaps have it at school, it would be a really great thing to make sure that they have anything they need there that evening for, in terms of like to keep them safe for health reasons. Dr. Reynolds, did you have something?
That was perfect.
And then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Reynolds to just talk about making some good choices.
We want all of our students to make great choices all day, every day. That's what we want. We encourage it. We teach it. You teach it at home and you support it at home. Sometimes, just like when I was in middle school, just like when you might have been in middle school or the student is next to you, sometimes we make bad choices. We want to celebrate all of our good choices and all the experiences that we had. And these are great events. They take a lot of time to plan. They take resources, our parents, you talked about volunteers, all these great things. So we want to make sure that it's accessible to all students and all of their families. We're providing support for all of the areas that we need. We're even kind of reaching out to making sure that if you have a friend in another school, you can bring them over. With all of that said, we want to make sure that those students who abide by our rules and policies and meet our expectations or exceed, those are the ones who are participating. If we are not meeting expectations, if we do make some significantly poor choices, which result in consequences based on our code of conduct, those are things that may prohibit a student from participating in any and all after end of the year activities, up to and not including our semi-formal dance, our pre-promotion party, our rehearsal, our breakfast, and even our promotion. So there's a lot of things that we have planned, our yearbook and ice cream, all of those things that we just went through are exciting, and we want everyone to participate. I just want to make sure that that all of our students understand that if we make poor choices that lead us to, unfortunately, enforcing some consequences based on our code of conduct, you may jeopardize. You may be in jeopardy of not participating in some, if not all, of these activities. Again, that's a case by case basis, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But it is just kind of a fair warning that we talk about as a school and as a group, and we will have the same conversation with students in an assembly on Friday morning at 9:00. And that's really where I kind of want to land. We're going to get everybody in at 9:00 on Friday. We're going to go through a lot of this same information. That's the day of the semi-formal. We'll talk about the logistics and what's going to happen there, answer a lot of last minute questions. We'll talk about all of this, and we will also land on making good choices to ensure that you can participate in the entire rest of the year, because it's only fair to your classmates that they're all able to have a great time too. So with that, super excited about the last 19 days. with our 8th grade, and really looking forward to celebrating with everyone with these. Back to Dr. Golding to wrap us up.
I just want to thank everybody for their time. I know this time of year is busy. So whether you're watching it live or you're watching us at some point later on, we appreciate you being involved. That being said, just another push. Our class is 240 students this year, which is a little bit larger than our typical one. And so, if you could imagine feeding 240 middle school students, I'm sure many of you have a large grocery bill just feeding one or two. So, it does take a village, a community to really make these events happen. So, if there's something on the list that you could sign up and help with, we're very appreciative of anything from paper goods to food to everything. And your time is something that is the most precious thing. And we really do appreciate the families that are coming in and celebrating with us and lending a helping hand. Like Dr. Reynolds said, there's a lot of them, and we need a lot of eyes, and just to make sure everybody's safe and enjoying themselves. So again, thank you for your time. You are going to be hearing a lot from me in the next 20 or so days. And just know that we appreciate you. Have a great evening, everyone.